Hey everyone, this is Marley with Duke Schnauzers. I thought I would do a video and show you guys the supplies that I use for whelping, for raising puppies, what I use them for, and tell you guys where I got said supplies. So I will go ahead and get right to it. So here are the supplies that I have when I am expecting a litter. I usually kind of set myself up between two rooms. Mama is in one room with the whelping pen, and then this is kind of my little like ICU type area. You can have this set up however you want, whatever's easiest for you. I also will have a scale usually in here, or I will have it in the whelping pen when the puppies are coming out. So my favorite thing that I have is this warmer, which I bought directly from Puppy Warmer, the manufacturer. This is their smallest size. It was about $800 and it was 100% worth it. What this thing does is it does not provide humidity. It just provides heat and a very consistent even heat. Has vents up here, which is really nice. It's a really sturdy design. Everything you can wipe. You're going to want to clean everything with some type of disinfectant. I really like diluted chloroprep because that's what we use in the hospital and that's what I trust. So I also have an oxygen concentrator that I just Googled oxygen concentrator, and I think this one cost me about like $200. Puppy Warmer provides one as well that you can buy. It's more expensive than this. It's made for, that was my little air quotes in case you didn't catch that. It's made for this. I didn't really see a difference in the devices, so I felt comfortable buying this. This is not a medical grade device in that you need a prescription to buy it. It provides a low flow. So it's 1 liter, this is the max is 1 liter per minute, which is perfect for my needs. Basically, if I'm going to have a puppy that's going to turn over and is going to transition, then that's going to give them just enough. If I have a puppy that's requiring higher oxygenation than that, then chances are the puppy's not going to make it. What I do is I flood the isolette with oxygen as soon as I'm expecting my puppies to come. I don't like to leave this on for too long because it's really quick to warm up. Here's a little temperature sensor. I just kind of drop the oxygen tubing down through here, and I put a little medicine cup that's over this, and I will actually just kind of leave it just like that, close to the puppies. They move around a little bit, but they'll still get some of it because, again, the isolette's being flooded with oxygen. If I have a puppy that's in distress, I'll put this over their nose, their mouth, and just kind of give them that extra support and just watch them super close. So that's really important to have. Then I have 2 different boxes that are clearly labeled. One's my feeding box. One is my birthing box. So inside my birthing box, my supplies might be a little depleted just because we're moving. So things I like to have is I like to have my collars on hand. I really like the collars that I think they're called paracord. Might be making that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. You can buy them from Etsy, and you want to get them in different sizes because the puppies are going to grow. This is really good if you're expecting a litter of puppies that all are going to look similar. And I think it's just great to have on hand anyway because you want to make sure that you know that specific puppy's weight so you can monitor weight gain. Again, I got these from Etsy. You want to have clean bulb syringes. These are used for babies, human babies, and this is actually kind of a bit big for the puppies' noses, but it does work pretty well. It's really good for getting secretions out of the back of the puppy's mouth. You can try to use it with the nose. I have had some success, and it's just, for me, it's something that makes me feel comfortable to have. So I will actually open one of these guys up, and I will stick them off the top of the whelping pen, and you can reuse them. They're reusable. I got these from Amazon. I just Googled Medline bulb syringe. I got medicine cups. I use these for a variety of different things. You can get these from Amazon if you just Google medicine cups. Sorry, these look kind of icky, but they're not. So this is really good mainly for mama and for puppies if you need it. It's a high-calorie nutritional gel. It has lots of nutrients and vitamins in here for mamas and puppies. If you have a puppy who's fading, it's something you can try. This does not include glucose, which people may be like, wow, it really should include glucose because puppies need that, which is true. But you want to be very careful with how much glucose you administer a puppy. That needs to be metered because if you have a puppy or just anybody in general and you have too much glucose in your system, it can kill you. So there's issues with hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia, so you just want to be consistent. I like to have this on hand. I got this from Revival. A lot of the stuff I get is from Revival. Blood clotting suspension. It's Some people use flour. We've used this when we've had, you know, like a tail that hasn't stopped bleeding. I've never had to use it for birth, but I just kind of keep it in there. I keep a pair of scissors in here. This is just for cutting various things, not for anything related to the puppy. This never goes on a puppy or near their cord or anything like that. More on that in a minute. I have just a super basic stethoscope in here. You can buy that from anywhere, Amazon, you can Google it. I know that Puppy Whelp, I think, is the website. They have a puppy whelping box. I think that's where this came from, but usually I use my neonatal stethoscope just because the size is so much better. These I ordered from Amazon. You don't have to use these, but this is just what I do. I'm a NICU nurse, so I like everything to be kind of similar because that's what I know, and it works. This right here, these are umbilical cord clamps. They're sterile, they're one-time use. They clamp on. You actually have to cut them off through here with either a cutter or like a wire cutters. But these are nice because as soon as the puppy comes out, I really try to let mama do as much as possible. But if like it's a really short cord or if mama's not pushing out that placenta fast enough, sometimes I will actually clamp off one side because you need 2 per puppy. You don't want to just clamp towards the puppy and then cut close to mom. Mom will bleed out because the placenta is still attached and pumping out blood. But what I'll do is I put one close to the puppy, not super close to the umbilicus because you don't want to cause any herniation. And then maybe like a ½ an inch from there, I'll put my second one. And then I kind of just wait to see if mom's going to deliver the placenta on her own. I kind of hold the puppy, support mama, and then I will use sterile, meaning I have cleaned. I have my scissors, and we did tails and dew claws not long ago, so I have my little dew claw tool in here as well. But I have different types of scissors. These ones I do not use for birthing. I use those for my tails. But right here, just straight scissors. You can get them of different sizes depending on what you like. I do have a couple clamps in here because, again, we've in the process of moving, so things are kind of crazy. But ideally, you want to have your clamps and your scissors when you are expecting. You want to have those separated. You want them to be clean because you don't want to accidentally think you're reaching for clamps when you're reaching and then accidentally grab scissors and use scissors instead. So that's something else you can do. So if you don't, and a lot of people do this, is that you can use, I can open it one-handed, which apparently I can't. So I have mosquito ones, which just means they're smaller, and then I have larger ones. I have curved. These are called hemostats, clamps, whatever you want to call them. They work really nicely. You can basically use the same principle in regards to with this umbilical clamp. Mamas can do everything on their own. Sometimes they don't if they're feeling fatigued, if the puppy's in distress, and the kind of crimping action that this clamp gives, same with the inside of these hemostats, is actually what gets those vessels to stop pumping and will make the puppy, that cord stop bleeding. So when you remove it, then the puppy won't, bleed out. I usually will leave these on for a couple hours. No longer than that, probably about 4 hours or so once the cord starts to dry. More on cord care later. Couple things that I definitely suggest you have on hand. This colostrum supplement, I haven't had to use it yet. My mamas have been done really well, but it has excellent reviews. This is made by Breeder's Edge. It is called Nurture Mate. It was from Revival. This strongly suggest, this is an oral calcium supplement. It's metered, so you just twist this to give a dose. And this is really nice because it has the instructions on how to use it. You give mom a dose, her loading dose, and then you give 1 dose for each subsequent puppy. Can't stress enough how much of a risk eclampsia and preeclampsia is. That's when mommy's calcium levels drop dangerously low, and it can actually lead to death. So you really want to make sure that mom is getting the calcium support that she needs. Also important to continue that calcium support through a high quality puppy food and adding in puppy formula to it, or cottage cheese or yogurt, something, even vanilla ice cream I've seen people do, so that mom's calcium level is at an appropriate level. I have Tums in here, same thing, it's the calcium. I don't really use them. I like the gel better, but I have it. I have thread in case I need to tie something off, like a cord off if I want to go that route. I've never used it. I prefer my clamps. Lubricant jelly to take rectal temperatures because you're going to want to be monitoring mommy's temperature in the days prior to birth and then also after birth to make sure that she's not becoming febrile. Just personal lubricant. Also, there may be times when you have to help a puppy out, come out of mama, so this is a nice thick thing to have on hand. Then this, and I saw another breeder use, I'm actually probably going to toss it because it's a couple months old. Basically, this is kind of like my puppy version of epinephrine. I am not a veterinarian. I am not a vet tech. I am a hobby breeder, and I've heard about people using a combination, basically of like a caffeine supplement, mixing it with water, and then if they have a puppy who, you know, is not quite coming to life when they're born, they'll give them a little bit of this. If you're interested in this, I can provide you the link to the breeder who kind of gave me the concentration and how to make that. This is a little aspirator. Yeah, I don't have the name of it. It looks like it's dirty, but it's not. This is just iodine. This is a really nice little aspirator with a mucus trap. We use these in the hospital for various reasons, but they're usually hooked up to suction because obviously I don't have suction, which I wish I did, but I don't. This actually, you suck on one end and then you use this little tube right here, and this is really tiny and nice for getting secretions out of the back of puppy's throat, and the mucus trap catches it. The secretions do not go inside your mouth, but this is nice to have. It is made by Argyle mucus aspirator, I think is what it's called. That's pretty much what I have. Some of my supplies are already out because I still use them when we're in the neonatal transitional period, which my puppies are 2.5 weeks old, so we have entered the transitional period of development. I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay. Feeding box. This one's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. Not all of this is necessary. It kind of depends on how extra you want to be. Bare minimum, you need to have feeding tubes because there are going to be times when a puppy's not going to want to eat, and it is just really not safe to, this is an 8 French. I don't like 8 French tubes for my puppies. When it's not going to be safe to syringe feed them because they can aspirate too easily, and if you have a puppy that develops aspiration pneumonia, then there's basically that puppy has to go to the vet. They're intensive care on oxygen, antibiotics, and even with that they may not survive. And I've done it. I tried to save one, and 24 hours cost me $1,500, so much better to try to prevent that. So these are just little feeding tubes. If you go to Revival Pet Med, I got these from there. I think these are 5 or 6 French tubes. They're marked on here because you have to measure before you actually drop it down to feed the puppy because you don't want to go in the puppy's lungs. You can Google videos on how to do that. There's really good videos. So I like to have these. They are reusable. They just get kind of like crunchy when they're like time to throw them away. You can wash them with soap and water, let them dry. You need to make sure you have syringes. I think I got these oral syringes from Amazon. Oral syringe, feeding tube set. You can Google like puppy feeding tube. I would just really make sure, depending upon the size of your puppy, you want to make sure the tube is the right size. So you could see the size difference between this tube and this tube. Quite different. I have sterilizing bags. You don't really need that. Semethacone drops. This is right here. I got this from Target. It's in the baby section. Puppies can get colic. They can be gassy just like human babies, so semethacone is safe for puppies in case you need it. I had one puppy that was super gassy, and we did have to use a different bottle. I have a large syringe here for me to do large bolus feeds for puppies, but I haven't had to. I've been really blessed. I would definitely get some droppers. This is a really nice way to feed the puppies. It has a small little tip to it. I hope you can see that the puppies can get to. And as long as you just give very slow drops at a time, then the puppy is not going to aspirate. There's also the Miracle Nipple. This is huge, so ignore how large this is, but there's all different sizes. That's closer. It's more like the one for you to use for a squirrel, but the one for puppies is about this size. It's not perfect. The puppies don't latch onto it the way they do on mama, but if you're comfortable feeding with the syringe, I mean, for me, these have been super helpful. I have more medicine cups in here. I have another dropper. This, I've heard really good things about. It's a puppy support made by Dogzymes. I just Googled Dogzymes and I grabbed it from them. It basically is like electrolytes, glucose, vitamins, minerals if you have a puppy who's fading. I luckily have not had to use it. The puppy that I had that faded, I didn't have this at that time. But again, I would just be very careful because, again, it has glucose and you don't want to give a puppy too much glucose, because that will just kill them faster. This is Pet Nutridrops. I've heard really good reviews about this. This here just has vitamins, protein in it. So really good for puppies. Haven't had to use it, had good reviews. I feel like it's kind of like a substitute for doing liver water, because sometimes when a puppy's fading, we'll actually like boil liver, calf liver, and then you strain out all the fat from it and you just want that fluid and you'll give that to puppies, and people swear that that saves their puppies. So those are kind of the most of the stuff that I have. Now let me go to the other room and I will show you guys the WellBeing box. Okay, so here is my setup in the bathroom right now, which is where my puppies are whelped, where they spend about the first 3 weeks of their life. So really important, you're gonna wanna have a puppy scale. You're gonna wanna make sure it's clean. You can use puppy pads or chucks and just have them trimmed in between each puppy. That way you're not like putting the puppy on a dirty surface. You can put it in the whelping pen. That's one of my favorite ways to do it. That way puppy isn't separated from mom. I can do a video kind of explaining how I whelp specifically, because I do things a little bit different, but this is just going over supplies. So this I got from Amazon. Just Google puppy scale or kitten scale. This is nice because it has a large base, and you're going to want to be measuring those puppies and weighing them frequently. Let me just kind of go and I'll show you here. So here is my puppy chart. Not anything fancy. I have the puppies, their color for their collars. They don't have collars on right now because I can tell them apart, but I weigh them. And as you can see, I was at one point weighing them 3 times a day, and puppies are supposed to basically double their birth weight by about 10 days of age. So again, you want to make sure your puppy's gaining weight, or else you're not going to have a puppy that's going to survive. Really important. Cotton tipped wood applicators. These are sterile Q-tips basically, and I like to have these on hand for when I am doing any wound care on the puppies. So like dew claws, tails. Also, if you have to apply like an ointment, if you have like a bottom that's red, I'll like to do that. And then also I use this one. I check my mamas to see when they're going, if they're starting to go into standing heat, because I want to check the color and I don't want to stick anything, you know, that's not sterile and give them an infection. So these are really great to have on hand. I also use these a lot for my ENS, so my early neurologic stimulation. If you're interested in that, you can read more about that. I just bought those from Amazon, cotton tipped wood applicators. This right here is kind of like a hodgepodge box. It has dewormer that I use. I use a couple different ones. I use this one in Neomex. Same active ingredient. This one is just suspended in a higher concentration. So you just have to Google deworming and figure out which dewormer you like. Not everybody uses this kind. I do my multiple doses of the parental pamate. How do you say that? Pamate. And then I do a quad dewormer right before the puppies go home, and I've never had an issue. More syringes in here. This is a must. I think I got this from Amazon. Just puppy nails, clippers. If you don't have this, little regular human toenail clippers will work. I bought this for my big parent dogs, but you don't need this. I haven't tried it. Okay. This is important. This is from Revival Pet Med, Oxy Mama postnatal vitamin. My biggest thing is I really try to support mama as much as possible, because without a healthy mama, you cannot have healthy puppies. And this is just a chewable supplement you give mama once a day, and it supports lactation. And the puppies, or the dogs, eat it readily. No issues.
I have gloves that I always like to have on hand. I have thermometers, which again, I keep around to check mama to make sure she's not developing a fever after she has her puppies, and also to watch her when she is getting close to puppy time. I like baby Aquaphor. Not uncommon for puppies, just like human babies, to get red sore bums, especially once they start eating. So I like to have this on hand. This is just 75% isopropyl alcohol. I like to have this on hand for cleaning tools. I also use it prior to getting vaccinations. This is ChloraPrep. This is a more concentrated form. You can buy this, well, these bottles I got from Target, but the actual fluid I bought from, I think, Revival. It works really well. It does not kill parvovirus. The only thing that kills parvovirus basically is bleach. So yeah, this is just what I use for like the day-to-day cleaning. I don't have other animals up in the nursery. We don't wear our shoes in here. We're very aseptic with what we do. So yeah, I really like it. And it also is great because it can be diluted down and be used on the body. And again, I mean, like, this is used in the hospital. So I like to have soap here, just to have it close by. If you'll notice, I have a couple. I have 2 of these here, these little containers. I like to have a clean and a dirty. So like if I have a puppy that I'm actively tube feeding, I will have like one of these pads down, and I will like have my clean ones on that Chuck's pad in here. And then I will have, you know, this one be the one that I wash it in. I've been lucky though and haven't had to tube feed any puppies. So this was kind of like a lot of trial and error. This is iodine as well. I use iodine for when the puppies are born. There's a really big risk of infection at that umbilicus site. So you want to make sure, because puppies are not just like humans, like we're all born with bacteria on us. Mommy's has bacteria in her vagina, and you want to make sure you clean that. I really like just holding the puppy and doing a spray of the iodine on it. If you feel more comfortable, you could put, you know, get about like 4 total of these, so 2 packs, and you could put it in a medicine cup and you can like swirl it around the puppy, some umbilicus, but I just kind of like to coat the area. This isn't going to hurt the puppy. It dries pretty quickly once the puppies are in the warmer, and that way you prevent infection, because if you get an infection in that umbilicus, you're not going to save that puppy. You're going to lose a puppy really fast. All right, now for the Whelping pen. So this is my Whelping pen here. Obviously, these are not newborn puppies. These puppies are 2.5 weeks old. I have a camera that I have right there, so I always can check in on my puppies. And then so this obviously I got from Easy Whelp. There's a lot of good puppy supplies from Easy Whelp. These pads are from Amazon. If you just look up like puppy pads, they're just reusable. You wash them, no big deal. And right now, underneath here, I have a heating pad because these puppies are big. Ignore that. That puppy's not dirty. That's just glue from tail docking. I monitor the temperature inside my Whelping pen, and for newborn puppies, you're going to want to make sure that that Whelping pen is between 85 to 90 degrees for the first 7 days of life, and then it drops down from there to 80 to 85 degrees from day 8 to 14, and then it continues to drop down incrementally. You don't want a Whelping pen that's too hot, because mama's not going to want to go in there, and you want mama to feel comfortable. So there's that. When puppies are brand new and when mama's whelping, I will have a actual light heat lamp here that I'll turn on. I don't use the heating pad because it's not a consistent and enough heat for me. Now what I do is when my puppies come out, I will support them being connected to mom as long as I safely can. I usually try to get them to nurse on mom while they're still, she's staring at me like, what are you doing? While they're still connected, they'll be nursing on mom, which is great because it's good for her milk production. It's good for puppies because they're getting that important colostrum. And then it also stimulates uterine contractions for her to pass that placenta. So that is what I do. And then after that, I disconnect the puppy, put the puppy in the puppy warmer till the puppy's completely dry. Because let me tell you what, wet puppies, wet babies, wet mammals, they get cooled really fast, and puppies are not able to thermoregulate. So that is the main concern for the first 7 days of life, is that you need to make sure those puppies are staying warm, because warm puppies will not eat. And if you have a puppy that's not eating, first thing I would check is that puppy warm? I have like one thermostat thermometer thing there, and then I have another one on the other side of the Whelping pen where mama usually will hang out. And typically for the first like
week, Mama doesn't leave the whelping pen, so we focus a lot on supportive care of Mama. I've said that before, so like I will actually feed my Mama 3 times a day in the whelping pen. Usually when she's nursing puppies, I give her, we make homemade chicken broth for my dogs that can tolerate chicken. Some of my schnauzers don't like chicken, it irritates their skin, so this Mama does, so she gets fresh chicken broth every day that's diluted down with water just to encourage her to drink, because just like humans, the more water that you have, that you're taking in, the better milk production you're gonna have. So I got all this stuff from Easy Whelp. This was from Amazon. The lamp was from, the heat lamp was from, I think, Easy Whelp. I have a few different ones. This one's just like a stand that goes underneath it. And then you're also gonna wanna get heating pads that are animal safe to put underneath to make sure that the puppies are staying warm. Something too, why that's super important, this is a bathroom as you can tell, so there's tile underneath. So like right now I have these heating pads on because it's winter and it's cold. The puppies are gonna get chilled, so you wanna make sure that you have that. I also have a thermostat on the wall in here so I can know how warm the room is, and I have puppy pads, and now I'm just rambling on. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Everybody that kind of does things a little bit differently. This is how I do things. I've had a lot of success, as you can tell by my very happy fat puppies. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know. All right, guys, have a good day. Come on, little friend. Come on, little friend.